Welcome back to FFL Boss Tutorials. Because of so many new feature releases, we felt it necessary to create another full walkthrough. From the main login page, if you click on Remember Me here, our system will remember your login for a 24-hour period and it will not time you out. You also have the ability to log directly into kiosk mode, which we'll talk a little bit more about, or you can also log into IOI mode. This is going to be for ATF inspectors who come to inspect your firearms business. You can log in directly to IOI mode and have them do their inspection directly from the system. Let's go ahead and log in and take a look. This is your main dashboard. From the main dashboard, you can see your main navigation over here to the left. We have quick navigation up here at the top. We also show notifications, our security module, along with your admin controls over in the upper right hand corner. Let's go over some of the admin controls. Each separate FFL will require a separate login subscription along with a location creation. As you can see here, I have 3 separate accounts under one login. Each of those would show a separate FFL number, and each of them can be controlled from that one login. Diving further into the account details, if we click on Edit, it will take you to the location name, federal firearms license, subscription details, and contact information. From here, you can also control the bound books, but additionally, you can upload a copy of your FFL directly to FFL Boss. The way to do this is by browsing, selecting that file. It needs to be in a JPEG or PNG format as stated here. We do not support PDF. And then clicking Upload. From here you have account settings and billing, subscriptions, users, security center, and help center. Account settings and billing and subscriptions are kind of self-explanatory, but let's go to subscriptions. From these subscriptions you have the ability to add additional modules that we have created, such as the NFA module, the PON module, or the security module. We'll go over each of those in more detail later in the demo. Each separate level of FFL Boss allows you to have a certain number of users. The home version has 1 user included, Plus has 4, and Pro has 8. When setting up users, the easiest way to do that is to come to the user main page and click Add User. When you're creating your user, simply type in their email address, create a password for them, their first name, their last name, their job title, the location that they will be logging into, and then their access level. Each access level is shown over to the right here. We have account owners, managers, supervisors, and employees, each with their separate permissions. Next is the Security Center. The Security Center allows you to keep track of who's logging in and from where. You can set up 2-step authentications. You can control exactly who of your users has that ability to do this 2-step authentications. You can set up password complexity, track IP addresses along with geo coordinates. You can ban IP addresses or even whitelist IP addresses. Notifications is going to be where all notifications will be sent to you, both for internal transfers and as we build out FFL Boss even more, any other types of internal notifications will be sent to you via the notifications section. As mentioned before, the IOI mode allows for internal operations inspectors from the ATF to come to your location and inspect your books. In order to do this, simply click on the IOI mode, choose the location that the IOI will be inspecting, and then press lock. You can set the code to whatever you want it to be. Once you have done this, it restricts the access of the software to only the things that the IOI is privy to, such as your bound books, your dispositions, your current pending 4473s, and of course the ability to print or download those bound books. You can also download those as a CSV or an Excel file. The next thing is the kiosk mode, which we will go into more detail later. Under the quick transactions, you have the ability to access all of the main navigation pages without going directly to those main navigation pages, such as acquisitions, dispositions, FFL to FFL transfers, and so on. You have the option to go directly to that acquisitions, dispositions page, or any of their main navigation pages and doing that particular action, or from the quick transactions you can simply click on that action regardless what page you're on and it'll bring up that pop-up. You also have quick access to all of your bound books from this location. The dashboard itself is going to be laid out very simply to show you exactly what you have going on with your company within the last 30 days. Each of your bound books are controlled directly from the dashboard. In the bottom left-hand corner, it'll show you what is in stock. You can view that bound book or even download the bound book by clicking on the blue button. In the upper right-hand corner, you can see here that we offer account training. You can upload an existing bound book in the event that you want to move bound books from another system over to FFL Boss, or you can control that location directly from the bound book menu. Emailing a copy of your FFL is super easy with FFL Boss. You simply type in the email of the FFL you want to send a copy of your license to and press send. Once you press send, you have the ability to type in any additional notes or even change the subject line and press send. This allows you to reference particular POs, order numbers such as gun broker, or really any other auction site where you might be receiving firearms from in order to do a B2C transfer. All of your transactions are tracked over a 30-day period and shown in this bar graph here, and also in the pie graph to the right, along with the percentages of what your business looks like over the last 30 days. Scrolling down to the very bottom of the main dashboard page, you can see that we have the last 5 dispositions and transfers, along with the last 5 changes in the employee activity monitor, which we will go into more detail on later on in the demo. Let's start with acquisitions. From the acquisitions page and every other main navigation page, you will see the exact same layout as you do here. Columns and rows with information in each of those cells. Each of these fields is searchable from the search box up in the left. You can also filter down and search by specific locations. To the far right allows you to edit any acquisition that you have created. Let's show how an acquisition is done. When you click on either Add Acquisition, or from the quick transactions, click on Acquisition, the Add Acquisition pop-up comes up. From here, you simply select the location that you wish to acquire to, the bound book that you wish to acquire to, whether it's coming from a dealer or a customer, and then if you have done any business with that dealer or customer in the past, they will show in that drop-down list. As soon as you select a dealer, that dealer is immediately Easy Check validated through the FFL Easy Check website. It is highly recommended that you always get a copy of the FFL in which you wish to do business with. If the FFL or customer is not currently in your list or you have never done any business with them before, you can add them through this plus button that you see right to the right of the drop-down menu. Here you can type in the license name, trade name, and any other information about that FFL that you have. You have the option to type it in manually, or you can click on the FFL lookup and type in any FFL in the United States, and our system will automatically look up that FFL for you. Whichever FFL you wish to do business with, simply click on that row and click Autofill. Once you have done so, all of the information that we currently have on file will be preloaded into those fields. If you have any additional information on that FFL, it is highly recommended that you add that information at this point. Right here for the FFL type, this is automatically going to be blocked from you adding anything because the way we have designed our system is to automatically choose the type of FFL that they are based on the FFL number. Another cool feature that FFL Boss has is a display name. If you wish to add a different name here, that name will then display instead of any of the other names listed in the license or trade name fields. If that dealer you are doing business with is an SOT, go ahead and select the type of SOT that they are. And then the very last step is to add a copy of the FFL license itself. You can do so by selecting the image here, or if you've downloaded the app on either the Android market or the Apple App Store, you can do Send to Mobile, and this will send a notification to your cell phone or other device and allow you to take a picture of that license or any other identification that is going to be added to FFL Boss, and it will automatically upload it to this location. Let's click Add Dealer. For demonstration purposes, I will use RSR Group. Now we click on New. As you are adding new firearms, there is required information, and then there's also optional information that you can put in about that firearm. The required information such as the type, the manufacturer, the model, the caliber, and the serial number are all required fields. Optional fields are SKUs or UPCs, barrel length, and overall length, which are required fields for NFA items. Any bound book notes that you want to put in there, the cost, the minimum price, the list price, and any retail label notes. The retail label notes are the notes that will show up on the actual label that will be printed out. Lastly, you will add a serial number. I'm going to go ahead and add a SKU here. And I can simply add that firearm to the items list before the acquisition is finalized. If I have any other firearms from that distributor or dealer, I can go ahead and add those now at this point. When adding serial numbers, you have 3 separate ways that you can do so. The import list is for those who are going to be bringing in a large number of firearms that are all of the same firearm but are different serial numbers. If you have a digital list of those serial numbers, you can simply copy and paste those into this box here. If you have sequential numbers, you can go ahead and type the first and the last, and our system will calculate all of the serial numbers in between. Lastly, if you want to add one-offs, you can simply type in those serial numbers here. If you have more serial numbers, you can simply click More Serial Numbers, type them in, and press Save. As you can see, as soon as I click Calculate, it calculates all of those serial numbers. Now I can press Save. Each of those firearms is now added to my acquisition list. In the event that I click outside of this box, all of those firearms on that acquisition will disappear and will end up in a quote-unquote never acquired status. In order to bring up that never acquired status, make sure all of your acquisition information again is added to the details and click Previous instead. Go to the very last page, and that is where most of your never acquired items will be sitting. Click the blue button here to add them to your selected products list and click Add Product. Lastly, we select Finalize Acquisition. All of those firearms are now acquired to the Trigger Trip Mesa location into the primary bound book. The last step in an acquisition is to print product labels. If I click on Print Product Labels, my product label printing pop-up shows up. I can now print either a full label or a barcode only. A full label will show the serial number, the manufacturer, the model, the caliber, the barrel, any notes that you might have, and the price. This label is great for any storefronts that have walk-in business for the customers to be able to see all of the information about that firearm. Other than that, you have the barcode only, which allows you to print just the serial number barcode and product label number of the firearm. That would look like this. FFL Boss is designed to work with the Dymo printers, that is DYMO. Of the Dymo label printers, our recommendation is the 450 Turbo. When it comes to barcode scanners, we recommend the One Nice, or really any other keyboard input device seems to work just fine. The preference would be either the 2.4 GHz or any other type of Bluetooth scanner, which would allow you to scan barcodes without being directly, physically, hardline connected to your computer. Next is the pawn module. The pawn module allows you to add acquisitions with pawn inventory and pawn ticket numbers that can be referenced at any time. Next is the in-network transfers. This is when a firearms dealer that is with FFL Boss sends you firearms and you too are using FFL Boss. You will receive an in-network transfer notification. You can then come to the review and view all of the information about that acquisition. You can delete that whole acquisition, which would then require you to physically acquire each product, or you can delete one-off products or review and edit that product. If any of the information is incorrect, now is a good time to make those changes, update the product, and then save and accept that acquisition. This would add all of those products to the bound book of your choice without any further work from your part. Next is dispositions. There are 2 main ways to dispose through FFL Boss, either a manual disposition or an automated disposition through kiosk mode. A manual disposition is designed for disposing of a firearm to an individual while bypassing the 4473 and background check, mostly applicable to gunsmithing or warranty return scenarios. One of the most popular features of FFL Boss is our kiosk mode. This would be considered the automated way to dispose of a firearm to a customer. As mentioned toward the beginning of the demo, you can either log in directly to kiosk mode from an ancillary device, or you can log into kiosk mode while being logged in as the admin or other employee. You do this by clicking kiosk mode and typing in any locked device passcode that you choose. This is the customer-facing side. You would hand that device to the customer, and the customer would fill out all of their information here, which would eventually be translated over to a 4473. After they have done so and answered all of the questions, the last step is to sign. Let's go grab an existing customer and walk you through the kiosk mode disposition. The way to do this with an existing customer is to go to My Customers, select any one customer, and send to kiosk. Once you have done so, the customer will be added to the kiosk editing 4473s. Now from the kiosk mode, we click on Edit Previous. This will automatically pull in the customer's information, which will then be verified and used to fill out the 4473. The customer then answers all of the questions, signs it, and submits it. Now we can see that the digital information has been submitted. Let's go back to the admin control, and now that customer's digital submission will be showing up in the pending 4473s. The next step is to click on Review 4473. This is where you would ask for their driver's license or any other type of identification that they have, verify each piece of information that has been digitally entered, verify that the questions have been answered correctly, and then continue 4473. In the event that the customer is doing an NFA firearms transfer, you simply click Yes, and no additional background checks are required since a major background check was conducted already by the NFA ATF. If they have a valid permit such as a CWP, a concealed weapons permit, or any other permit that allows them to bypass the background check, you can simply click Yes here and put in that permit information. As you can see, as soon as I click Yes, the Add Permit Image button shows up, and if I click that, I can then send to mobile device and snap both the front and back photos of that identification. Those pictures will automatically then be uploaded to FFL Boss for future use. For those dealers who use NICS, we have an assisted LEAP login. This is the same as using the normal LEAP login page, but without having to leave FFL Boss's page. When you click on Assisted LEAP, you simply log in as normal, run the background check, and then record the response as you receive it. Once you have received the response and the NTN number, type them in the required boxes and press Save. This will automatically place those in the fields that they are required to be in. The next step is to add the identification. The same situation applies here as did with the CWP and FFL license. Once you have typed in the information here, you can then add identification images by clicking Add Identification and then sending to mobile. You can download the mobile app from the Android market or from the Apple App Store. The very last step is to add the items that you wish to dispose of. You can search those items by typing in the search box here, or simply by scanning. For demo purposes, I'm going to add 2 rifles and 2 pistols to show you how FFL Boss does multiple sale reporting. I add those products to the disposition, click complete, and then now the admin will sign. As soon as I complete signature, the 4473 is automatically generated, and then a notification shows up saying I need to produce a multiple sale for certain rifles form. I click here to generate, and that is only applicable for the border states such as California, Arizona, New Mexico, and Texas for the multiple rifles. In the event that you need to do an additional multiple sale form for pistols, simply click on Generate Forms and click on the correct form. FFL Boss will automatically generate that form and it is ready to be printed. Once I click on Print Form, FFL Boss generates that form in a PDF and it is completed and retrievable at any time. All multiple sales are tracked and you can monitor them from the multiple sales main navigation page. From the far right column, you can see those forms that have been generated and those that have not. The ones without a check mark in the box are ones that need to be created but have not been generated yet. Next is destroyed items and lost and stolen. Fairly self-explanatory. In the event that you have to destroy an item, you must then record that in the A&D book. To add a destroyed item, simply click Add Destroy, add the item, any notes that you wish to add about that destruction, and then click Add Destroy. The same applies for lost or stolen. In the event that you have any firearms that are lost or stolen, you simply click Add Item, add the firearm. After you have added your notes, simply click Add Loss, and that theft loss has now been added to your bound book. Our NFA dashboard currently allows you to track all NFA items that have been added or disposed of or are on reservation. The NFA module allows you to create reservations for NFA items such as suppressors, short barrel rifles, short barrel shotguns, fully autos, or AOWs. The way that you do this is by clicking on Add Reservation, choosing the dealer, customer, trust, legal entity, or export that you plan on doing with that NFA item, adding the product, and then clicking Add Reservation. Once you have created a reservation, you now have the ability to generate forms on that item. As you can see, I can generate a form 2, 3, 4, 5, 23, or 9 on that product. Since this is a dealer, we would be generating a form 3 on this. So click Generate Form 3, and the system automatically generates a form 3 that is ready to be sent into the ATF. Definitely stay tuned for much more advanced features in the NFA dashboard. You also have the ability to do rentals, exports, trusts, and legal entities. The next is the products and firearms. The products and firearms main dashboard is a full comprehensive list of all firearms that you have ever had in stock or currently are in stock. You have the ability to search by a multiplicity of criteria. You can search multiple pieces of criteria also. You can search by type, manufacturer, caliber, date range, location, and then of course from the search bar you have the ability to type in pretty much any of these search terms and it will find what you are looking for. Let's say I wanted to find this particular firearm here. I type in the serial number and it brings up that firearm. I now know that that firearm is in stock. It was acquired on 11/30, and I can either go directly to that product, I can go print a label for that product, or I can go to the history of the product. From the acquisitions menu or any of the other main navigation pages, you have the ability to download a CSV, Excel file, JSON, or XML of all of this information. Next is inventory count. When starting an inventory, you simply click Start Inventory Count, put in a title to that inventory count, choose the location you wish to do an inventory on, and add any note. All of the details will be listed up here in the upper left-hand corner. Your start date, soon to be end date, any notes that you have, and then there's an inventory guide. Green means found, yellow meaning duplicate scan, blue is for inventory notes, and red means wrong location, not in stock, or not found. As I scan these items, they will show up in the list as either found, duplicate, or not found. In the event that I scan any one of these items multiple times, that item will now show up as yellow. As you can see for this particular one, I scanned, but it is showing as not in stock. This means that you placed a barcode sticker on a product that may have been wrong, or alerts you that you either duplicated a sticker or that you have the wrong firearm. In order to add an inventory note, simply click on the box to the right and then add a note. Also, instead of using a scanner, you can use an Android or Apple device to do your inventory counts. Once you have done your inventory, simply click Complete, and that inventory will then be done. Next is My Customers. My Customers is basically a miniature CRM that allows you to keep track of all customers who have come in, filled out a 4473 via the kiosk mode, and allows you to send that information back to the kiosk for a new purchase, edit any information about that customer, or download that customer list via CSV, Excel, JSON, or XML for use in a CRM or other type of consumer relationship management software. Next is NICS denied. In the event that a customer of yours receives a denied from NICS, they will automatically be placed in the NICS denied list. This actually blacklists that customer from buying from you in the future unless you manually remove them by clicking Remove from NICS denied list. You also have the ability to physically add a blacklist customer by clicking on this Add Blacklist Customer button in the upper right hand corner. When you do so, you simply select the customer, type in the reason, and click Add Customer. These two can be removed by admins by clicking on the right hand button to remove them from the denied list. Next is My FFL Dealers. Any FFL dealer that you have done any business with will show up in this list. Obviously, as you do more and more business, this list will get longer and longer. Each dealer can be edited by clicking on the Edit button to the far right, where you can come and type in a separate display name, first last name, EIN, email address, or upload a copy of their FFL. In the event that a firearms dealer is not validated correctly, you can simply click on this link and it will take you directly to the FFL EasyCheck website, and you can pull any information there and replace that information into the corresponding field in order for the FFL EasyCheck to validate correctly. Next is transfer to FFLs. A transfer to an FFL with FFL Boss is very, very simple. Either click on the main navigation page, Transfers to FFLs, or from the Quick Transactions, click on FFL to FFL Transfer. You simply select the FFL. That FFL will then be automatically validated. Add an item, add that product, and then click Add Transfer. If that dealer is an FFL Boss user, they will automatically be notified of that transfer, which will show up in their notifications the next time they log in. If they are not, you can simply send them an email with the information about that transfer, and then they have the ability to try FFL Boss in order to receive that transfer for themselves. Events and gun shows is pretty simple. If you have a gun show coming up, make sure you add that event. When you do add that event, it is always recommended that you add the date of the event in the event name. The reason for this is when you're doing a disposition, in that drop-down list for the events, it will show the event date, such as Mesa Centennial 9/16. Next, and very last, is the Employee Activity Monitor. In any business, it is always smart to know what's going on in your business, and we have built a system that allows you to do just that. Any changes that are made in FFL Boss, that change is recorded and then reflected in the Employee Activity Monitor. You can then go directly to that change to view that change directly or to make modifications to that change that has been made. Lastly, we would like to cover the actual bound books themselves. If we come over here to the left side menu and scroll down, all of your bound books will be contained at the very bottom on the left-hand side menu. You can also access them in the upper left-hand corner in the quick access menu. This is how your bound book will be laid out digitally. You can modify the name of your bound book by clicking on this pencil right here. You can search your bound book by any criteria that you see in these fields. You can also search by open and close entries, open entries only or closed entries only, and also you can search by a date range. Additionally, you can add new bound books from here, print the bound book, download the bound book, or also download in a CSV, Excel file, or even JSON or XML if you know how to do those. When we download the file, this is how your bound book will be laid out for printing. As you can see here, if there are any changes made to your bound book that the ATF requires you to record, we record those as a line item directly below the acquisition or disposition information on the bound book. FFL Boss is rated the top FFL software in the industry. As you can see, the software is very simple to use. The UI is great, and our customer service is top-notch. We thank you for checking out FFL Boss. And as always, thank you for using FFL Boss, your FFL software provider.